is Zinnia and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see, we're starting off on a brand new channel. This is my official video for the new channel. If you guys were following me on Zinnia Reacts, I know you guys, it's sad, but yes, that channel has been disabled. That channel no longer exists, but we're here now. We full back in full swing. So as you guys saw in the title of this video, I will be sharing my thoughts on this documentary, and I will be breaking it down really what's it about. So if you have not watched this documentary, I do advise for you to go watch it because it's gonna be a spoiler for you. And you guys, it turns out that Mary Ann was now having another affair with Robert, and this affair lasted for 8 months. And I'm not talking about the steamy kissing in the car, you guys. I'm talking about full-on sexual intercourses, so much so that Mary Ann even wanted to get her own apartment, or Robert suggested that she must get her own apartment, like divorce this man, come on, you can be so happy. Guys, can I tell you that this is happening while he's doing this to the daughter back home every single night? Yeah, I know, a hot mess. So this man, you guys, now Mary Ann has been having this relationship now with Robert for about 8 months, so much so that Jan wanted to move out. And obviously that's when Bob found out about the relationship, and he called, I think, his priest or whatever, and then this priest was like, you know what, you need to cut the cancer, like stop, like get this man out of your life. But you know what, if this is what Jan wants for her life, then you need to divorce her. And he was like, you know what, you're absolutely right. So he was ready to get a divorce to Jan's mother, Mary Ann. So he did file for divorce, and then he did serve her, I think she was subpoenaed and da-da-da-da-da. When she got the divorce papers, I think reality sank in, and she was like, oh my God, I'm about to lose my family. Absolutely not. I'm going to fight. I cannot. And then she called things off with Robert. But obviously it wasn't that easy. He was threatening her again, and she was like, you know what, I don't care, because obviously he knows now. And Robert was like, oh, by the way, your husband and I did something not so long ago, and you were not even aware of it. So you tell me, how can you be in a relationship with a guy that is homosexual and da 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 da? And he was just trying to play her, but obviously that didn't affect Jan. So she went to the husband and she was like, babe, come on, let's do better. And that's when they literally rekindled their love story. And yeah, so that is how that relationship sort of ended with Robert. And guys, you would think it will now be the end and things would get better, but absolutely not. It actually gets worse. It actually gets worse. Furthermore, B moves to a different town because obviously there's nothing left for him there. He doesn't even come to the house anymore. He's not allowed or whatever. And he went out and he bought like a playground. I don't know if you call it a playground, but it's at a fun fair sort of vibe where he bought the whole go-karts so that when people come, they go on the bumper cars or whatever you call it. And Jan found out about this, and they're writing each other letters. So Jan tells her mom, like, Mom, please, Dad, please, I want to go work there for the holidays. I need to go there. I need to, for the summer holidays, I want to go work on this, fun fair playground, whatever it is. And first of all, the father was like, no, absolutely not. That's not happening. And both the parents were like, no, Jan, please, come on, don't be ridiculous. That can't happen. And Jan insisted, like Jan was crying, screaming, kicking her feet, da-da-da-da, doing the most. And then Mom gave in. Mom sends her off. Mom books the flight. Hey, guys, I don't know. Guys, I don't know how this is even making sense. I don't know. Mom goes off. Mom books the flight, puts Jan on that plane and sends her off to Mr. Robert, where she'll be working as his worker on the playground or whatever it is. Yo, guys, like if you are not frustrated at this point, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you woke up with, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. So mom sends her off, and obviously, first thing when she gets there, they discuss the mission. They're like, we need to complete the mission. Like, time is ticking. I'm going to be 16 soon, and da 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 da. That's when they actually had the real, that's when they did the real deal. Like, that's when they actually had sex, I think. That's when they actually did it, and she goes back home. And obviously, this is another 3 weeks later. Obviously, because she's there for the summer. I'm talking about holidays. If you're in South Africa, we're talking about holidays. Let's talk December holidays. That's about 4 weeks, 5 weeks at home. So she was there for almost that amount of time. Her mother even called and said, Jan, you need to come home. She would not come home, honey, until I don't know what made her decide, but then she came home. I think her mother was threatening her or something like that. But then she does come home. And can I tell you, Jan was not the same. She was upset. She did not even want to speak to anyone. And yeah, she was just not okay anymore, you know. And obviously, that's when the father was like, you know what, I'm done. No more. I don't want you anywhere near my family. Robert, if you don't stop, I am going to the cops. I don't care anymore. Like, the people can know what had happened between us. I don't care. But so you know, if you dare come near my family one more time, I am going to the cops and da 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 da. Guys, can I tell you that Robert started making threats back to the Broburg family? I'm not sure what he was saying or what he was threatening with, but so much so that it didn't really, Robert or Bob or Mary Ann, they didn't go to the police again in this case. Again, they didn't go to the police. You guys, this Robert is upset. They now said to him that you will no longer see Jan. Like, he obviously goes into panic mode. He is so obsessed with Jan, and he goes back and he abducts Jan for the second time. When the parents woke up, I don't know if it was just a regular Sunday morning. The mom wakes up, she goes upstairs to get the kids, but the kids, they normally go downstairs, but this time Jan didn't come downstairs. So they thought that, okay, maybe she was still in a funk, maybe she was still upset about the whole thing of coming back from the fun fair or wherever she was. So the mother went up and like, Jan, she opened the door and she saw a letter on the bed, but there was no Jan. The letter was literally saying, Mom, Dad, please, I not that I hate you, but please, I'm running away because I think you guys just need time. I'm tired of you guys. Da 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 da. I'm tired of your religion. Da da. Something that was totally out of character for Jan to say. The letter didn't make sense. They were so confused. Like, even the words that were used in the letter is unlike Jan. So they knew that, okay, this man probably wrote this letter. And can I tell you that they didn't do anything? Can I tell you that Mary Ann and Bob did not call the police? So 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, a week goes by, 2 weeks, 3 weeks goes by, and Mary Ann and Bob just didn't call the police. And obviously now the neighbors are like starting to wonder, but wait a minute, what's going on? Where's Jan? And they were too embarrassed to say that she was abducted. How does that make sense? Like, how does it make sense for you to be embarrassed that you were like your child is abducted by a pedophile? So I don't know, you guys. But we'll get into that a bit later. So they waited and waited. I don't know what were they waiting for. I don't know. I do not know. I have no idea what they were waiting for. But they waited 3 weeks. They called the police again. The FBI got involved again. And they were like, are you guys joking? Why wait so long? Do you know how far they could be right now if you had called us exactly that morning when you received or when you opened the door and you saw the letter that and saw that she was missing? We could have had Jen by now. We could have had Jen by now, you know? And it's true. It's absolutely true. But guys, I don't know. Like, it's so upsetting. Anyway, so this is now the second abduction. The police are involved. So now they don't know what to do. So now they're waiting for a phone call. They're looking where they can, but obviously they don't know where to look anymore. They're just literally trying their luck to go by places where they would think he would go, but obviously no luck. So another waiting game for 3 weeks. 3 weeks turns into 3 months. Guys, all of a sudden there's a phone call, and it's a phone call from Robert, and Robert, a phone call from Robert, and this for all the phone calls were now being recorded by the FBI, and Robert is telling Mary Ann, where's Mary Ann? Oh, I miss her. Like, he would break down and cry over the phone. Oh, Mary Ann. Oh, I miss Jen. Oh, I hope she can come back. Da 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 da. And now Mary Ann is also just playing along. The cops knew that one day, like, Robert would crack and at least give them a sign of where he could be. And 3 months went by. 3 months went by. 90 days went by. Like, it was crazy. So Jan makes a call. This was 90 days later. Jan makes a call. And she makes the call to her sister or to the household, but her sister answers, and she seems fine. She's like, "Hi, I miss you guys. I just wanted to tell you guys that I miss you." And the sister's like, "Jan, where are you? We miss you. Please, when are you coming back?" Now, in this phone call, you guys, the only thing Jan is saying, "I miss you guys. I love you. I'm just calling to tell you that I'm fine. I love you. I miss you. I'm just calling you guys to tell you I'm fine." She's not sharing any other information. She's not saying I'm coming back. She's not saying none of that sort. So, guys, moving on, like, this is just crazy. So after that phone call, I think 108 days later, they made another call, and they found out that Robert actually enrolled Jan into a Catholic school. And at this Catholic school, obviously, Robert, like, sold them this crazy story that he was in the CSI. He enrolled Jan into a different name and surname, and apparently this Catholic school must not reveal to anyone, like, who she is if anyone calls or da 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 da. So that's how it really happened, or how they actually tracked down Jan for the second time. At this time, you guys, they went to fetch Jan at the school, and it was so sad. Like, Jan was distant, Jan was numb, Jan did not even want to speak to anyone. Like, she was in the worst state, even with her sisters. Like, she did not want anything to do with anybody. Guys, after all of this, B finally gets arrested, and now he was sent to a mental house. He was sent to a mental facility or institution to get help, and I don't think he stayed there for very long. I think he was there for 45 days or so. I'm not quite sure. And then he was released again. How is this man, like, the way, guys, I don't know, like, this thing does not even make sense. Like, it like, even till this day, it doesn't make sense. Afterwards, you guys, after Jan's 16th birthday, things start to become clearer for her. After 16th birthday, she then realized that, hold on, my mother didn't die. I don't have a baby. I like everything is still normal. And now, before she turned 16, she had many events, you guys, that would traumatize her, thinking like, it's her fault, her mother's gonna die, it's her fault, her father's gonna die. And finally, when she turned 16 years old, she saw that all of this was a lie. All of this was not true. Like, imagine, from the age of 9 years old, and all you were believing was that some aliens were watching you, so you couldn't even live your best life. And you are that young. The fear, the torment every night, thinking you have to complete this mission. You cannot even like any boy. You mustn't even touch your father. If you dare touch your father, your sister would go blind. All of the crazy things, you guys. Like, he literally brainwashed this little girl. And Jan opens up, you guys, and she says that the molesting and everything probably happened more than 200 times. Yo, guys, like, my heart just broke as a young girl, as a young little baby, you know, 9, like, and all of this, all under your mother and father's care. Like, your mother and father is literally in the next bedroom, like, they're there, and all of this is happening. Like, how devastating. So, guys, that is it for today's story. And I think Mary Ann goes off and she writes a book. She writes a book because they would, like, literally share stories. Jan and her mother, they would sit at the table, share stories, and then her mother would just write them down, and that's how the book came along. It was said that Robert would harass them, and he would say that no, they're lying, none of that ever happened, and da 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 da. So yeah, he then committed suicide later on, and that's how he was just never arrested. He just later on just committed suicide. So guys, in my personal opinion, this girl was failed so many times. Number one, her parents, her mom especially. No, I know, like, I mean, the family today, they've moved on from it, they're in a happy place, but back then, looking at that situation, I'm telling you right now, as a parent, like, the parents failed this little girl. And I know we can all blame it on, no, there wasn't TV, there wasn't education. And throughout the documentary, they kept saying that, no, we didn't even know what pedophile was, we didn't even know what molesting was, da 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 da. Like, if your instinct tells you something is wrong with your child and an older man, why sit with that thought? Why not act on it? So they failed Jan big time. Big time. I think they failed her even before things got worse. They could have done something, and they did not. I mean, there were so many times where they could have stopped this. I mean, they were so more concerned about their scandals that was going to be up in the open, and then they decided to rather let their little baby girl get sacrificed. So they were so scared that their scandals were going to be out in the open, and they rather let this girl get sacrificed by this pedophile. You know, it's just a sad case. It's just completely sad and so frustrating, you know, especially when the mother goes back and sends her daughter again on a plane. You know, like, that's the part when I'm like, oh my God, like, this does not even make sense to me at all. I mean, even this man, how could he be walking the streets ever so freely, being a registered pedophile? So if you should click and search for his name, it would literally tell you that he's a high risk person, like someone, and that no one should ever be close to him. So yeah, you guys, like, the system failed Jan, her parents failed her, the community failed her, and I just feel that it's a big shame. And I hope that parents learn from this. You know, if ever your gut feeling tells you something is off, something is not right, let me not do it again. And if you see your child being out of character, if you see your daughter or your son, like, being offish or weird after visiting someone or interacting with someone, you make sure you find out what happened. You know, why are we protecting the predator? It doesn't even make sense. You know, there's so many things out there. Let's educate ourselves. I mean, even if it's a best friend, even if it's your uncle or your dad or whoever, I mean, these vultures, they don't come, like, they don't they're not written on their forehead that they are evil. We just have to figure it out ourselves, basically. So yeah, you guys, that was a mouthful. Let me know in the comment section down below if you know about this case, and if there is other cases you would like me to cover. I know I have a lot up my sleeve. I will probably upload this video and do another one pretty soon. So yeah, from me to you, it's so much love. I'll see you guys on my next upload, and please don't forget to subscribe. We're starting over. I'm begging you guys for likes and subscribers. Literally begging. We're starting from scratch, but I know we'll get there. So yeah, bye. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.